You're watching Access Asia on France 24. Coming up in today's show. Police brutality in the Philippines. Law enforcement grows harsher under the country's incoming Punisher president, Rodrigo Duterte. And standing for gender equality in Pakistan. We meet women who are breaking social norms in search of personal freedoms. Plus, we examine how an influx of wealthy Asians has helped make Vancouver the most expensive city in Canada. But first, in the Philippines, there's been a surge of drugs-related deaths at the hands of police. More than 40 drug suspects have been killed since incoming President Rodrigo Duterte was elected in early May. Known as the Punisher, he's swept to power on promises to wipe out crime, even through extrajudicial killings. Our Josh Vardy tells us how punishments for minor offenses has become increasingly severe.
A sight becoming more common in Manila. Police have arrested this teenager for breaching a newly imposed curfew in the Philippine capital. It's part of an unprecedented crackdown on crime that was promised by the country's new president, Rodrigo Duterte, when he ran for office, a policy with wide support from the police.
Many of the people staying there say that it is nice to see that there are no more kids or people drinking in the streets. They say that's an indication of peace.
Duterte won the presidential elections in a landslide, largely on a zero-tolerance attitude towards crime. The man known as the Punisher has promised to widen the use of the death penalty, warning that thousands of criminals will die in the shoot-to-kill orders issued to security forces. Meanwhile, punishments for petty crimes have become increasingly severe. These men have been forced to do push-ups at the police station after being accused by police of being drunk and disorderly. However, one of them insists he only stepped out to lock up his shop, and that his only crime was not to wear a shirt on the humid Manila evening.
I was about to lock the doors of our billiards shop because we have also computers in there. I have my keys over here. I saw many people outside and didn't know the police were already arresting people.
The Punisher has promised to keep Filipinos safe, but rights groups fear that extrajudiciary actions will increase and more innocent people will suffer.
I think it will just breed more violence. The more violent the government becomes, the more violence will emerge in the entire society.
Duterte says that his time as mayor of Davao will act as the blueprint for his presidency. He claims Davao is now the Philippines' safest city. Evidence, he says, that to achieve peace in the country, he must instill fear in society. And so far, he appears to be doing just that.
Next, when it comes to gender equality, Pakistan has a far way to go. The World Economic Forum ranks the country as being the least gender equal in the Asia and Pacific region. But some Pakistani women are working to change this. We meet a few of them with Hexie Myers-Belkin.
It's almost midnight when Zenit Irfan leaves her office, doing all she can to look unremarkable. She wears a big baggy jacket, despite the clammy air. But it's a small price to pay to be able to indulge her passion. She's one of the only women in Pakistan to ride a motorbike.
I have to make sure my posture and poise is all male, it's all masculine, to make sure that I don't grab any attention. But I enjoy it, I think it's okay, but I would love to be in a society where a woman can ride freely.
There's no law preventing her from riding her bike, but in the conservative Islamic Republic of Pakistan, women are often held back by tradition. Many women here are only allowed to leave the house when accompanied by a husband or male relative. Here, public space is for men. Studying and working too are often out of women's reach. But some women have decided that enough's enough. And not just the upper classes. Sania, from a working-class family, sent shockwaves through her community when she decided to become a tuk-tuk driver.
It's society at large that limits women's opportunities, and it just makes women less and less confident, more fragile.
What are they afraid of?
They're afraid of this society and of their relatives who say that it's shameful behaviour.
Sania is just one of 4 female tuk-tuk drivers in a city home to some 7 million people. They're expecting more women to follow suit, all of them driven by a desire for increased independence and freedom.
Husbands don't let their wives leave the house. They don't give them any money, so we have the right to get out and earn our own money. There's nothing wrong with that. It's only men who think it's wrong. Women never think like that. They see no problem, no shame in leaving the house.
The question of women's free time poses similar problems. Tonight, Zenit Irfan's meeting up with friends for a drink at a cafe in a working-class neighborhood. And it doesn't go unnoticed.
I always wear a helmet.
Nobody said so, but women usually don't sit here. And it's not for provocation, or probably they weren't trying to provoke anybody. I think it's more like the freedom of expression. And we also have freedom, like men do.
The men keep their distance. For the owner of the cafe, having a female clientele is a new and shocking phenomenon.
In Pakistan, women don't go around like that.
Do women in your family come here?
No, they can't sit here. We don't think it's right. It shouldn't be okay. When we go out with women in our family, we'll sit with them in a restaurant, but we don't want them going out on their own.
But they are. And the movement Girls at Dahbaz, or Girls at Cafes, is gaining momentum across the country in defiance of social norms.
They do think I am, you would say a whore, you can say, But I can see when a woman passes by how she craves to be also the space I have created in the public. But she cannot, because she has a brother and she has a husband, she has a father, and if she does so, she will be a victim of an acid attack.
But for women demanding a right to public space in Pakistan, it's worth